Our major nor'easter is ramping up as we speak. First, I want to show you how much snow is coming into your backyard. Then we're going to break down the high resolution future radar, show you the timeline and just how sharp the cutoff is from the very heavy rain to the crushing snow. Oh wait, if you're watching from the deep south, we are not getting out of this one. Freezing temperatures are on the way for you. If you're new here, I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, and we talk and track all things weather. This thing is a beast. I'm going to show you the bullseye first, looking for the purples and whites here. So eastern New York, from Saratoga Springs down to Albany, back up to the Vermont border. That's bullseye number one. The secondary push of crushing snow from about Rutland, Vermont, down into western Massachusetts, maybe even sneaking into northern Connecticut, right on in through there. Taking you a little closer, look at some of these forecast totals. This is the high resolution model. We're talking 2 to 3 feet plus in eastern New York, closer to Saratoga Springs, about 20 inches. To the southwest of Albany, New York, about 30 or so inches of snow. For us in western Massachusetts, we're going to be in it, maybe up to 2 feet or so of snow. And then just south of Rutland, we are pushing that 18 to 24 plus inches of snow. So this is where our bullseye is coming into play there. Lots and lots of heavy snow. I want to take you further south, down towards New York City. Yeah, in the Big Apple, we are missing out on this one. There is going to be a ton of heavy rain coming to Long Island, coming to Manhattan, coming to eastern and southern New Jersey. I will show you that in future radar in just 1 second. Then we're going to get into Boston area. That's where the forecast gets really complicated. Again, look at us in New York. Maybe some wet flakes flying in. I think the accumulating snow stops in about Morristown, West Milford, Franklin. We can pick up 1 to 3 inches of snow. But again, there's not a ton coming here. I think this is mainly going to be a very, very heavy rain closer to Patterson, maybe ½ inch. Maybe we could squeeze out an inch there if we are lucky. But again, New York, maybe a slushy dusting at most, as again, most of this is going to be very, very heavy rain. Now, I want to take you up to Boston because I think this is one of the areas, that and then along with that eastern New Jersey area, where the forecast is going to be the hardest. And I will show you why in the explanation, in the breakdown of what is going on with this system coming up. You see where the crushing snows are. And again, Boston, the high resolution model has us at about 2 to 4, maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow. Look at just inland, though, a foot plus. And then again, towards Pittsfield, we're talking 2 to 3 feet of snow. Again, that's western Massachusetts into southwestern Vermont. That's where the big stuff comes in. But Boston has the biggest questions, and I'm going to show you that part of the forecast coming up in just 1 second. Post in the comments what the weather is doing where you are tuning in from. We have a mess on our hands in New England. This is going to be 10 o'clock Eastern, raining very heavily on Long Island, Bridgeport, very heavy rain into New York City, eastern New Jersey, Providence. We have that heavy rain. Boston, it's light to moderate. Some snow falling again, coming down pretty good from Scranton all the way in the northwest New Jersey, closing in on Albany, New York, and into Saratoga Springs. We're going to fast forward now through the overnight hours. And if you stick around with me for a couple of minutes, we are going to get really technical as to why we have this very sharp cutoff in Boston specifically. So stick around with me for that. In short, we have our upper low here supplying the cold in from the north and west. Here is our surface low sending the moisture and warmth back to the coast. So that is why we are getting very, very heavy rain through Rhode Island into Connecticut, Providence, again, very heavy rain through Cape Cod, Boston as well, while we have the very heavy snow just inland of Boston through Bristol now at this time, Albany, Saratoga Springs, up into Burlington, Vermont, and then again through Manchester as well. As we move into the early afternoon on the 14th, this is Tuesday, March 14th, we have that very heavy snow in Boston, Bristol, that rain-snow line still hanging around, though, and then we'll continue to keep that rain and snow with us all the way through Wednesday, and this is what's going to batter our coast as well. So this is going to be 8 o'clock on Wednesday, March 15th. Our low is about right there. We still have those winds coming like this. So it's going to be a nasty afternoon still on Cape Cod, even after this main event starts to pull away later on Wednesday afternoon. The wind is no doubt going to be a factor as well. Right down on here, you're seeing 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. That's going to be eastern Pennsylvania into New Jersey, New York City. We keep those 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts rolling through Cape Cod, through most of Maine. Just offshore, again, you see this brown color. That's where we could have hurricane force wind gusts, again, right on the shore of Maine, potentially even right along the coast of Massachusetts into Cape Cod as well. So we're really watching for the potential for some wind damage. No doubt some power outages are going to be possible as this system really starts to ramp up. And I will show you that timeline in just 1 second. Again, the wind is going to create some big swells on the Atlantic, some huge waves. You see that little flare up of red there? That's where we could have 20 to 25 foot waves, again, right off the coast of Maine. And then this is going to be far removed from the shoreline. Here again is Long Island, but we have another flare up of 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. But notice those arrows, that north and northeast wind there, just going to be battering Cape Cod and the Massachusetts shoreline pretty much from Tuesday afternoon all the way through Wednesday afternoon. If you're new to this channel, I always like to show you what is actually going on in the atmosphere, in addition to showing you the impacts and some of the numbers in terms of the snow and wind and all that stuff. So we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty right now. So I mentioned about the two pieces of this storm. You can see that highlighted here as we take a look at the 500 millibar heights. Again, the height level is about 15 to 20,000 feet above your head. And then the surface feature. So I'll point that out with my trusty telestration here. We can see our ridge in the jet stream, and then you see this dip. Here is our upper low hanging right over central Pennsylvania, right in here. Here is our surface low out over the coast. Okay, notice that number. That's a 991 millibar low. Lower the pressure, stronger the storm. As we take this out in time, and by the way, that's going to be on Tuesday morning, March 14th. Watch what happens. I'm going to stop this right here. So now we're at Tuesday afternoon on March 14th. We have our area of low pressure still at 981. We have our upper low now situated off the coast of Long Island. Okay, we're going to take this out even further, and you see how the two interact. The upper low basically kind of pulls the surface low back underneath it, and then the storm itself explodes. You see, now we have this gigantic surface low hanging off of Cape Cod, and notice the pressure has also gone down to 977 millibars. Again, it was just at 991. So again, that was a rapid deepening, likely bombing out, that bomb cyclone, as you always hear about. It's actually a thing. That's a 24 millibar drop in pressure in 24 hours or less. So again, that is going to be in the realm of possibilities right on through there. At this time now, this is going to be late Tuesday evening into early Wednesday morning, we have this system vertically stacked. So we have a lot of rising motion. This is what we call dynamically cooling the column. If you get these two centers at the surface and in the upper levels of the atmosphere stacked, you cool the column dynamically. And while it normally would be too warm to support a lot of snow, you've dynamically brought in the cold air. And that is why there's a lot of uncertainty in Boston, because again, you have this area of low pressure at the surface trying to pump in all of this warmth from an unseasonably warm Atlantic Ocean. But then you have this little upper low, see, wrapping that guy right underneath and causing the storm to explode, trying to inject its own cold air into the system. So Boston is likely going to be the hardest part in New England to forecast for this storm. Again, you're going to get snow, at least a few inches, at least 3 to 6, but there could be room for a whole lot more if that process that we just highlighted there happens a little quicker. My friends in the South, this is your friendly reminder to take care of your plants over the next couple of nights, and your pets too. Bring them inside. You see the purple and blue, those are freeze watches, and warnings are in play. The entire state of Tennessee under a freeze warning, most of Arkansas, and then down through the deep South into the Carolinas as well under the freeze warning. That light blue color is the freeze watch, meaning that freezing temperatures are going to be possible within the next 36 hours. All right, we are going to bounce across the country now and talk about the chill that settles in for Tuesday morning. See, right smack dab in central Iowa, the teens are going to be waking up to. Minneapolis, a little bit colder, below zero, at about 2 to 3 degrees below zero. Duluth, a little bit colder than that, about 7 degrees to 8 degrees below zero. Back towards western PA, in the low 20s. Certainly a chilly morning. Again, cover your plants in southern Virginia. We're at 30 degrees to start the day. Back towards central Tennessee at about 32. And then out towards Arkansas for us, we're at about 30 degrees. The 30s have also invaded the northern panhandle of Florida, just to the north of Jacksonville. It gets even colder, though, on Wednesday morning. Look at this in Florida. We have the 30s and low 40s getting down towards just north of Orlando, Atlanta. We're right around the freezing mark. Into central Tennessee, we're hanging around 30 degrees. See the darker purple showing up. Look at that. Right smack dab in central Ohio, right around Columbus at about 22 degrees. Western PA at about 20. Southern Virginia, we're back to the low to mid 20s now. Into New York, we're holding tight in the lower 20s. Minneapolis, we've warmed things back up, though. Big warm up, about 22 degrees by the time you wake up on Wednesday morning. Thank you guys a ton for tuning in and supporting this channel. If you liked the content, please hit that thumbs up button. If you like talking and tracking the weather, we would love to have you join this growing weather community. Please hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you next time.